Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have a talk about the Hoyoverse community once again. Yes, sirree. We've been covering a lot of VA cancellations over the past couple of weeks, right? We had one situation where the Skirk VA got canceled on Twitter. We had another situation with the Yazuha VA being canceled on Twitter. We had another situation with the Aglaia VA being canceled on Twitter. And, well, it appears the Honkai Star Rail community, ladies and gentlemen, has decided to double dip and go again. Because it's not just Aglaia getting canceled over here. It is also going to be our good old free favorite 5-star, Dr. Ratio. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe the things that I'm saying right now, all you gotta do is take a look at the screen over here. Somebody's gone ahead and compiled a bunch of different messages from Hoyoverse players to the voice actor. Well, and you could just, I mean, maybe I could just read them out loud, right? In the top left corner, we got, in response to Jordan Paul Haro saying, "Happy Friday, everyone." We got Kay over here saying, "Go fuck yourself." We got Zephyr saying, "He would hate your ass for this." Oh, she also needs Cyrene funds, by the way. And then we got Prince But Worse chiming in. "Supporting a homophobe, transphobe, and Zionist is such a big slap in the face to your LGBTQ fans. Do better. It's not in your blood to hate anyone, but it is in your blood to look up to someone who pre-hate." So you can kind of see over here, right? Not a lot is actually going on to provide context for the situation over here. But there's just a lot of individuals spreading a lot of hate publicly towards this voice actor who, naturally, right, voices, I would say, one of the more nuanced characters in the game, right? They've shown up quite a bit in the story. They've had some big involvement, especially in arcs like Penacony, all of that. And so, why don't we just do a little bit of digging to see what exactly has caused this level of public outrage. And what we found online, spread across multiple subreddits, is a 37-second clip. So let's give it a listen and then see what the thoughts are across the space from, you know, a bunch of commenters and some other individuals who have actually left Gacha.
Charlie was a man that I genuinely looked up to. A man that he was a father, and he was a man who loved God and loved people. And I know that there are some people out there who don't agree with his messaging and don't think that he was a good person. That's fine. You can have that perspective. But
let's just pause for a second and think about how open-minded his statement was. Here's my opinion, but it is perfectly 100% okay. If you want to be somebody on the other side that disagrees with me, I am not going to be offended. I understand this is a controversial figure, but this is simply how I feel about the situation, blah, 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 right? But we can at least understand, right, that this is one of the most milquetoast, one of the most calm, like just very open-minded statements that I feel like an individual could have made, while simply making their stance clear that they're very upset that an individual has left this earth. That is the situation. And let's just finish out the clip from here. Okay, that's the end of the clip. And so you can clearly see that segment alone, where we're clearly not going out saying anything absurdly wild. We're not going out like celebrating random things that are happening in the street. We're just merely showing condolences to the loss of somebody's life and how we found that the loss of their life has been a net loss to the person involved. And the thing is, that alone, that clip alone, and by the way, that was a 37-second segment out of a 32-minute video. This was not like Dr. Ratio's VA just going in and then glazing Kirk for 30 minutes. That was 37 seconds. That was 37 seconds out of a 32-minute video. And would you look at that? The video itself got brigaded for those awful, terrible, degrading 37 seconds. Naturally, right? Who would be surprised when it comes to the Hoyoverse community? Looks like another VA is going to go radio silent on social media. Just like how Skirk's VA did the same thing, Aglaia's VA doing the same thing, and Yazuha's VA is doing the same thing. They just go again and again and again. And the funny thing, or really the sad thing about this situation is really, really, really simple. They're now looking for any reason, because they've painted a target on Dr. Ratio's VA's back. They're looking for any reason to talk shit about him. Even so far as to make some sort of point about him having the American flag in his background. Hey, fellas, is there something wrong with liking the country that you live in? Hey, fellas, is there something incorrect about being an American and having the American flag on the wall in your room? As well as, I guess, probably the favorite character that he voices, because he likes Dr. Ratio and he also likes being American. Fellas, is there something wrong with that? Fellas, is there something wrong with saying that, with having this in your background, and then also saying that the death of somebody made you sad? Guys, this is what they're trying to cancel his career over. This is what they're trying to go ahead and say is the most unforgivable thing ever. That warrants all of these comments. Other VAs got recast for less, just saying. And this is a point over here that I really want to emphasize, because if you've been keeping up with the day-to-day, if you've been keeping up with any situation, guys, when it comes to Mr. Charlie Kirk, who's losing their jobs? Who is losing their jobs when it comes to this situation? Is it the people expressing condolences for his death? Or are the people that were celebrating his death literally dancing over his grave? Aren't those the ones that all lost their jobs? Those are the individuals that, if you've been keeping up at all with social media, those are the individuals that are all losing their careers, losing their homes. Some of them are not. Some of them are getting evicted from their apartments. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be political over here. The world has basically decided who's right and who's wrong in this situation. Genuinely. There's a reason why only people on one side of the equation, they're the only ones that are getting fired. They're the only ones that are losing their jobs. They're the only ones that are getting evicted. And this is the thing. That is what the world has decided. I haven't decided that. But me going ahead and seeing all of these individuals, again, receiving all these punitive actions, this is my stance on the matter. If somebody is to go ahead and merely say that they're very sad that somebody passed away, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that. And most people, 9 out of 10 people that you're going to meet in the day-to-day, they're also going to be the ones that say, you know what, there's not really anything that wrong. There's not really anything super wrong with that. But the individuals that are celebrating, that are going out, dancing on graves, doing all of that, well, that's what society itself, I think across political lines, that's what society itself has deemed as incorrect. But as you can naturally see, right, there's a lot of different Hoyo shills that are deciding to come into the situation. And of course, just like they always do, they want to be opposed to a modern civilized society and just act out irrationally in every single way possible. And this is the thing, right? He simply said that he liked the man and that if you disagreed with him, he saddened by his death, and if you disagree with him, you disagree with his messaging, it's perfectly fine. Dr. Ratio's VA will take no offense to the matter. 37 seconds. 37 seconds out of his 32-minute video. And now he's getting his ass brigaded to Kingdom Come. People are asking for his career to be over. Once again, from this statement.
And he was a man who loved God and loved people. And I know that there are some people out there who don't agree with his messaging and don't think that he was a good person. That's fine. You can.
He even says if you hate the guy, all of that, that's fine. 1% of his goddamn video is spent on that. Maybe around 1.5% of his goddamn video is spent on that. Jeez, guys. Oh, jeez. And now, like I said before, they're looking for any potential reason possible to find any issue at all with this individual. Any possible reason, to the point where they're talking about the fact that he's an American who posts up the American flag in his goddamn room. They found their new toy. And I'm going to be honest, I think the only action over here, and once again, right, this is just showing that this was a very small section of the video. Yeah, of his 32-minute video. I really do think that his career is... I would not be very excited to voice any more Hoyoverse games. if I'm just being real over here. I would not be excited to interact with this community. And I think the biggest part that people need to account for when actions like this are occurring is, well, who else is going to want to join the Hoyoverse community? Who's going to want to actively engage with it? I think the best thing that a VA can do is literally keep their identity hidden or just never actually interact on social media. Honestly, it's like you would basically, you've got to be like the Bronya VA for this game. Nobody even knows what her fucking name is. And it's been that way for multiple years. She's farming W's right now. She's literally farming W's right now because of this, because of the amount of just ridiculous stuff that's happening. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Saint from the future over here. We actually had a bit of an update to the situation that I didn't cover in the overview. And so right over here, we've got a thread of VAs who are coming out in support of their fans. And people are going ahead using the messages that are being shared by the VAs. You got like Triby's VA saying things like, you are worthy of being loved for who you are. And they're using this as another opportunity, as another platform, right, to go ahead and start harassing Dr. Ratio's VA again. And so as you see the situation develop, you're seeing more and more VAs sharing their take, sharing their messages. Once again, absolutely nothing wrong with the messages that are getting shared over here. I actually think they're very positive. But the fact that it's getting weaponized into yet another attack is kind of the absurd part. So when you go ahead and you take a look at another tweet by Allegra Clark, who voices Acheron and I do believe Bido in Genshin, well, it kind of paints a clearer picture of the story here. I'm a little angry that there's an expectation that we need to speak out against the controversy of the month in order to not be confirmed, or in order to be confirmed as not bigots. It ends up just being virtue signaling. People should be judged by their actions, not whatever they tweeted. And so essentially it just becomes a, if you're not speaking out on the matter, if you're not going to make a public statement, you're going to be somebody that's in support. That's the message that's being shared over here. And so VAs that aren't even involved in the situation are implicitly just getting harassed until they do get involved in the situation. And let's just be entirely honest here. This isn't a particularly healthy work environment, right? To be going ahead and forced to be essentially political, otherwise you'll be political. It's kind of just like a catch-22. And the end result is that I'm pretty sure a lot of these individuals don't actually want to feel the need to be roped into these situations, but they're now viewing, and I think the important thing over here, they're viewing silence as, well, approval. And that to me is just sort of, you're clearly seeing where this is getting unwrapped at the seams. And so there are some future responses as well that I just wanted to take a look at from Dr. Ratio's VA because I thought they were funny. First one over here is, Dr. Ratio would hate your ass. Dr. Ratio isn't real. Sorry to burst your bubble. I'm not gonna lie. I see the note that he's taking right now, and I'm gonna be honest. I feel like he doesn't really care anymore, especially after you see stuff like this. It was a good run. Nothing lasts forever. So I think he's personally taking it pretty well, all the stuff that's occurring, but let's just be entirely honest here. This is just another example of the Hoyoverse community. Once again, it's ironic that we're going to say that Dr. Ratio's VA is showing his ass. I think another side of this community has really shown their ass. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit that I wanted to add in just to make sure that we're fully covering the issue. Same for the feature out. And so we previously covered the situation where Aglaya's VA was getting canceled. People were basically calling for her expiration IRL because of the people that she was following. And guys, don't worry. We've got people ready to cancel Dr. Ratio's VA as well for the people that he's following. Are you guys ready for these ones? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, shit. He followed Asmongold. God damn. Man, this is terrible. How dare he do this? He followed goddamn Asmongold. Ah, shit. We gotta get him for that one. Oh, he's following Donut Operator. You know what I think? I feel like Dr. Ratio's VA maybe lives in Austin or Texas. I'm just gonna be... Aren't these all, like, Texas-based people? Like, this is the thing. It's like, they're now going ahead, and it's like, oh, hey, guys, I follow individuals. Let's go ahead and just start canceling him for that as well. But this is also the other thing. Maybe Dr. Ratio's VA is following these individuals because, well, Tectone, who he's also following as well, right? is one of the only individuals who's actually willing to go out and bat for him. So let's cap this off over here by reading what good old Digtone has to say. It's been a minute, and I will be making sure to keep this coverage as light as possible. I'll be omitting certain terms just to keep it a little bit more PG for the audience. The interactions on this post, the Dr. Ratio post, are why I'm glad I distanced myself from the gacha space. The VA of Dr. Ratio is just making a video about how he's a proud Christian and he's mourning the loss of a man. The comments, as you can expect, are losing their mind, calling him a white supremacist supporter and a fake Christian. Guys, remember, we've seen the clip in its entirety. We've seen this multiple times. And that is what people are calling him afterwards. The gacha was and still is a cesspool filled with uninformed idiots capable of not doing any research or critical thinking outside of what they heard or saw on Twitter. And the thing is, guys, if this was, I don't even think Tectone is right about this situation. Because like I said before, the only thing you've seen online when it comes to individuals losing their jobs, losing their careers, and losing their livelihoods, the only thing you've seen is people that are celebrating they're the ones that have lost their jobs. And so, literally, I don't even think that they look at what's on Twitter. I think they only take a look at echo chambers on Twitter. Because if they were just broadly sweeping the website and seeing what's available, guys, they would have seen that a stance like this is not what gets you fired. And this is all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to this situation. The world has decided what is right or wrong over here. But these Hoyo shill freaks are still going ahead, and they're still trying to, for some godforsaken reason, ruin another one of their VAs like they haven't already destroyed like 4 of them. Like 4 of them in the past 2 months. And it's just nuts. And at this point, I really do think that it's created the most absurd reputation I've seen in the space for these games. And the one thing that I hope is that the Wuthering Waves community, the Duet Night Abyss community, all of these other new games communities, I hope they just go ahead and they don't act in this way. Because at this point, what are we even doing over here? We are going against every single, like, societal, like, norm or just common sense, and getting to the point where we're just going ahead and asking for somebody's life to be ruined over one of the most harmless 37-second clips I've ever. He even says if you completely disagree with me, it's perfectly fine. Like, it's one of the most milquetoast 37-second clips I've ever seen regarding the issue. Like you have talk show hosts going on and saying things that are more spicy, and then nothing happens. But that's just what the Hoyoverse community is all about. So yeah, fellas, I guess it is a terrible thing to be an American person and hang up an American flag in your room. If this was like the Confederate flag, yeah, maybe I could see what you're talking about. It's just the goddamn American flag, brother. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So yeah, that'll be that for this one. Let me know what you all thought. Peace.